Baseball coming up tonight. Game 3 in Los Angeles. You also have the Commanders in Kansas City. My goal is to not upset Coach Cowher today. He's nice enough to spend time with us, and it feels like every time I have him on, right at the end of the interview, I somehow say something that upsets you. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Dan. I think it's a realistic goal that you have for this morning. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Do you get upset when you watch games?
I don't get upset. I get disappointed when I see bad calls. I get disappointed when I see irresponsible decisions, but I don't get upset. I get upset when I was coaching, though.
Yeah.
I did get upset.
But did you ever have an official say, my bad, I missed that, I'm sorry?
Well, no, they can't. They didn't do it. I mean, I would stand beside them and I would say, I know you can't look up there, but trust me, you will be downgraded if you don't change this call. So I tried to lay out the circumstances and maybe the consequences of them not changing the call. But we have the expedited reviews now. But even to that, to some extent, I mean, I think last night was a prime example. And I think it was not a great weekend for the officiating.
Okay. How upset would you be if you were still coaching the Steelers after that performance by the defense last night?
Well, I mean, listen, I think there was some pivotal moments in there. I think it was a very good first half. I mean, you go into a game, you go into halftime, you're up 16-7. You get the ball coming out the second half. You got a quarterback who's very good with cadence, get them to jump offside, takes a shot down the field, and it's not even called. I thought that was a very pivotal point in the game because you always talk about the last 2 minutes and the first four coming out. And that was a chance, if it's 3rd down and 3, there's a different play call, 3rd down and 3, and you have midfield, maybe you even go for it on 4th down. And then you turn around and the very next series, you get pressure on Jordan Love. He throws a ball that's up for grabs. And it turns into a 80-yard or 70-yard reception that leads to a touchdown. So I think it's kind of spiraled out of hand at that point. But that was a very pivotal time in the game. So I don't think you got to be careful by looking and describing the whole game, saying the defense was this, the defense was that. There was a few plays there because I saw a first half where they got after him pretty good. And Green Bay held them to 7 points. I think you got to be very careful at this point of trying to overanalyze something.
If you're the Browns, why would you hold on to Myles Garrett and maybe not trade him and realize let's get some first-round picks and, we got to figure this out. We got to restart.
He's a generational player, Dan. I don't think you trade generational players. And, that's a total start over. We've seen a lot of teams rebound and come back. This is a good defense. This is an offense that's still trying to find its way with a young quarterback. Again, I think you're looking at National Football League. They're still at a point with what they're still only 3 games out of first place. So, I think, again, the whole getting rid of people or trying to buy people. And I think if you're close, you go get someone. But I think if you're going to, take a player off your team, it's not a great message to send to the rest of the players on your team. Are you giving up on this season? And now expect them to go out there the second half of this season to build something and maybe take into the next year because I think there's a lot to be said for that. So I don't think you get rid of generational players.
What do you do if you're the Cowboys where you have a really good offense, but you're missing that pass rusher that you traded to Green Bay?
Right, and you have some draft equity there moving forward, but to take advantage of this time right now, I think at least making some attempt to upgrade that defense because you're right, they have too much of a special offense. You don't know what's going to happen with George Pickens at the end of the year, where he's at. He's going to be up for a contract, so I think you try to go out to see what's out there. You do have some draft equity to work with to maybe acquire somebody, but there's a lot of issues they have on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, getting a pass rusher, it starts right there. They've had some injuries in the secondary. But I think you're still in the hunt right now when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. You're still right there. I would absolutely try to upgrade that defense.
What did you make of the Cowboys or the Steelers uniforms last night?
I don't like them at all. I think throwback. I don't know.
Would you have
They
objected to that? Would you have made an exact? Did you have veto power on anything like
are
that?
you trying to get me upset now? Aren't you? I see where you're going. I see where you're going with this. You are. We were talking good football.
I know.
You went right into the uniform.
I know. I did.
You said you were going to try. You said you were going to try.
I did try. I failed, Coach. I failed.
Okay.
Can you veto those uniforms if you were the head coach?
I don't know if I could, but I would make every attempt to do so. I would not try to upset anybody, but I would let them know that is not my favorite uniform, particularly on that particular night going against the Green Bay Packers. And I know maybe that decision was made beforehand, maybe or maybe not. But boy, we could change it if we had to. Really, can't we? I mean, I don't know.
It looked like they had khaki pants on, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the top wasn't much better. It was not much better.
That was rough. We're talking to the Hall of Fame coach, Bill Cowher. Once again, I'm trying not to upset him. Why can't a running back win MVP?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. And I agree with you. I mean, if you go back historically, the last three running backs to win national MVPs have been Marshall Faulk, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Sean Alexander. And all three of them, after 8 games, had a total of 14 touchdowns, which is the same pace Jonathan Taylor is on. And Jonathan Taylor, to me, with a football team that I think is the best in football right now, you look what they can do on offense with him. Daniel Jones is playing at a very high level. Their defense, you can talk of being they're third in takeaways, or top 5 in defensive scoring. Lou Anarumo, I think, has been one of the best offseason acquisitions, I think, in the National Football League. I would put him on the defensive side. I'd put Josh McDaniel on the offensive side with what he's done with Drake May and Mike Vrabel. So I think there's a legitimate argument. We keep talking about the quarterbacks, and I know that the quarterbacks are this. But that football team, the heartbeat and the soul of that team is Jonathan Taylor, that being the Indianapolis Colts, who have the best record in football.
Yeah, that's what I said. You got 14 touchdowns. He's on pace for 1,800 yards.
Yeah,
but he would have to surpass Sean Alexander touchdown total before I think the voters would notice. Because 2,000 yards, we've seen that, and they give you that cop-out award, the Offensive Player of the Year.
I don't disagree with you, but that football team, to me, again, not take nothing away from Daniel Jones, and he's been great. But you take Jonathan Taylor off that team, it's not the same offense. And I don't know if you could say that about other quarterbacks, because to me it's been about the quarterbacks. I think the running back has supplemented that and has been a complementary part of that with the quarterbacks, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, because they also bring an element of rush into that. But you look at this football team, to me, Daniel Jones complements Jonathan Taylor, not the other way around.
Yeah, I agree. What was the highlight of your NFL career?
Winning a Super Bowl in my 14th year.
No, as a player.
I didn't have many of them. Okay, so I blocked a punt against the New York Giants in 1983. You're trying to get me upset
why
again.
I'm asking you to open up your scrapbook here.
Okay, I am. Your career, like winning a Super Bowl. No, your playing career. Okay, I was a special teams player, and I did play for 5 years. I did block a punt against Ali Haji Sheik and the New York Giants. At the same time, I think Bill Belichick was on that staff. So I did block a punt for a touchdown. It was in week 3. I was on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were playing the New York Giants in Giants Stadium. So I guess that would be my career highlight, a block punt. I actually looked this up. I was trying to see if I could find it, and I actually found it. You have to dig deep into the archives of the internet to find this. But I did block an Ali Haji Sheik, who was in because of a hurt Dave Jennings. And I came in there and actually, made the call.
That was his first punt.
Highlight.
That was his first ever punt.
Minor detail.
Okay.
Minor detail.
All right. I'm a journalist here.
Okay. But you know who made the call on that? John Madden. I had John Madden do me one of those telestrators.
Oh.
He did a telestrator. So that, I guess, would be my highlight, is having John Madden do a telestrator on you. So Like, now you're trying to get me upset because you had to say I had this first punt.
Why? I know your highlight was winning a Super Bowl.
Okay, I know that. Okay, and I gave you my player highlight.
But why are you angry? Because you
I'm actually excited to talk about this because I did have John Madden do a telestrator on me blocking a punt. That which was pretty cool, right? Have you ever had John Madden do a telestrator when you were doing an interview?
No.
Okay. All right. I experienced something you haven't.
America just learned that you blocked a punt.
Because,
national TV and John Madden telestrated it. They never would have known that. But that's me doing investigative work and asking the right questions.
And the question was, was that his first punt?
No, it was his first punt.
So you did know that?
Yes, it was his first. Ali Haji Sheikh was a kicker, and he had to come in for Dave Jennings, who was the former player rep of the Giants. I might have been. Was that game?
That's a great church.
Was that game at the Meadowlands?
Yes.
I might have been there.
Wow. You don't remember my greatest play of my career? You do remember the play.
I think
you remember the play.
I might. I might.
Yeah.
Wait.
So did you really look this up, or was something that just you knew that Ali Haji Sheikh's only had one punt and it was blocked? Yes. You did not know it was me.
I did not know it was you.
Okay. This is Fact Finding Monday.
I was trying to get Ali Haji Sheikh on the show today to surprise you.
Wow. Thank you. You're making me happy now. This is pretty cool. You're like going down memory lane with some of my highlights.
Because your wife is not asking you this stuff. She doesn't care.
No. I tell her every now and then. Reminder, I did play.
Do you remind her? Yeah. Do you remind her?
Right. Well, just every now and then, I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. I know after the fact, you always have all the right answers, but now I didn't always have the right answers. I made some bad calls at times too.
But I would hate to have to interview you like that halftime interview. That
would be good. Right.
Like when you're losing, and then I say, "Hey, what kind of adjustments are you going to make in the second half, Coach?"
Multiple.
Even if you're winning, I don't want to interview you.
Even for winning, how you feel about the first half? It doesn't matter because it's the only thing that matters is the second half. Next question.
Once again, I don't think there's a good question that I could ask you where I was going to go, "Oh, okay, we got something out of it, Coach."
Maybe you could ask me, what's the greatest joy of your playing career?
Yeah. What's the highlight?
I blocked a punt by Ali Haji Sheikh.
Good to talk to you.
Yes.
I don't know how you're going to find something, later today that is going to equal this.
I will. I look forward to coming on here with you because I never know what path you're going down. And so every now and then it's something that's like and you do touch base with the now, but you also like to go back into the archives a little bit and just dig into someone's history, dig into someone's emotions, dig into someone's troublesome past at times. And so I appreciate you allowing me to go down memory lane to experience all those things. And I look forward to coming on again. And thank you for still having my bobblehead up there. You haven't moved it.
No, I won't. Okay. But you wore 53 when you were with the Browns, but 57 with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was 55 in high school, 54 with NC State, 53 with the Chiefs. I asked for 52, but they wouldn't give it to me, so I went the other way and went up to 57.
Do you have that jersey?
No. Didn't have it for very long. I only had it for 2 years. My career, I never stayed in one place a long time, man.
But you did win a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, and you did block a punt.
Thank you for leaving me with – those are special memories. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Special teams legend / Hall of Fame coach, Bill Cowher. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Dan.
And there he is, NFL Today on CBS.